Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. We're still in the beginning of August 1982. Here's what's hot and what's not. We last were reading the newest issue of Electronic Games magazine, and this one was really shining with the artwork. Almost every page was a work of art. Let's see what our next game is. It's time to go on the Atari home computer and play Escape from the Dungeon of the Gods. Sounds intriguing. This one's part of Softside magazine, and this was released several different times. This is the re-release, actually. It was first available for the TRS-80 by Ray Sato. And so this one is the Softside magazine for August 1982, at least the front cover. We're not going to be playing Operation Sabotage. Let's pop in or type in and play Escape from Dungeon of the Gods, ported over by the Atari by Rich Bouchard at the beginning of August 1982. Yeah, the Atari translation. For years, the small medieval town of Alvard was ruled by a kind man, King Saefwis I. However, when he died, his son became the new ruler. King Saefwis II was a harsh, cruel man who turned Alvard into a city of terror and destruction. Sounds amazing. You and several other citizens of the town have formed a small army to rebel against the evil ruler. But on the day before your first attack on the king, Saefwis, secret police captured you and imprisoned you in the legendary Dungeon of the Gods. So, is it like gods, mythological gods? You're now being held in a dismal prison cell while the king forces continue to destroy the entire village. So we begin the video game in a dungeon, or a prison. I've seen that one before. So this one is slightly sci-fi, but you would have seen this in different issues of Softside magazine throughout the year. So I know I'm saying it's August 1982, but that would be this release for Atari. And looks like there's, in the dungeon, legends say there's a special chest called the Chest of the Gods, which has the power to destroy the king and all his forces. You must find the chest and several treasures hidden in the dungeon, but beware. Several powerful monsters protect the contents of this dungeon, and you'll be forced to slay them if you meet them. Oh, yes. So anyone remember the TRS-80 one? We didn't play that one. We're going to be playing the Atari one and another one right after this. All right, so now let's begin. Can we escape the Dungeon of the Gods? I think we can, because we're going to follow a walkthrough. You're in the west end of the prison cell. A door leads north, and the door is locked. Can I just go then? Or did I have to open the door? There's no way to go in that. Oh, I have to go east. I see. Don't go north. Go east. Yes, so here we go. How well is this going to fare to all the other text adventures we've seen? You're in the east end of the prison cell. A metal box lies on the ground. The box is locked. All right, so let's go ahead and get bar. Okay, we got the bar, and wait a second. The game's redrawing the whole thing all over again. I haven't seen that since 1978, I think, a text adventure game. All right, so after we do that, let's open box. The metal bar helped. There's a key in the box, so we didn't have to say with what. It just did it, but it's doing the exact, it's redrawing everything on the screen again. Wow. All right, so get key. And it's going to redraw the whole thing all over again, isn't it? Oh my goodness. This feels like a step back, at least as the interface goes. All right, so let's go ahead and head west. And this makes sense because it's going to redraw everything. It almost makes me miss Scott Adams, believe it or not. You're in the west end of a prison cell. The door leads north, and the door is locked. All right, let's go ahead and open the door now that we have the key. And we didn't have to say with what. It just knows we have the key, and now the door is open. You're in the west end of the prison cell. The door leads to the north, and so it's just redrawing the whole screen all over again. Yes, I'm wondering why the printing comes out so slow. Most likely basic is my guess. All right, so let's go ahead and go north again. Okay, and it's going to redraw it, isn't it? Yeah, you're in a room filled with a steel door on the floor, north, south, east, and west. Let's go ahead and head east. Okay. So it says okay, and then the whole thing comes out again. We're now in the music hall. We can see a flute. Get that flute. Yeah, that's true. It does clear everything away, so you don't have a constant scroll of text, but the redrawing almost seems like a step backwards considering the other adventure games we played. All right, so we got the flute, and then you redraw everything from there. All right, let's head east. It does feel like that. I think the last game we played was in 1978 that did this. It cleared the whole thing away. That's why when Scott Adams was the wave of the future for adventure games. You're in the room with a large brass table, and we can go north, south, east, and west. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this one here. I'm already not impressed if you think about all the text adventure games. Slightly well written, at least for the opening of the game. But I'm going to go ahead and say for all the games you can play on a home computer, this is a bad title. I'm going to say 2 stars, the best of the bad, but still it could be better. But that's not all. We also have Escape from Dungeon of the Gods on the Apple II. So this one would have been another issue or a different issue of Softside Magazine, and they had re-releases and revisions of this game you would be typing in. So this is just another one. Let's type in and play. This one is ported over by Alex Lee for the Apple II. Yeah, I've seen another 2-star out there. Yeah, 2-star for Mark. Well, I'm pretty sure this was going to be the same affair. What's even suckier, though, is I wanted to do this like the other text adventure games where we restore where we left off on the Atari. But because it's a type-in game, there is no save. Oh, but this is a nice touch. Look at that. Softside Disc Magazine, issue number 30. Cool. All right, we want to do Dungeon of the Gods. I think we got to fast forward. This might go slow. Oh, yeah, it's running it. Very nice. Yeah, it's keeping it simple, but there's better adventure games out there than this one. But I couldn't fault it because it's something you're getting in a magazine that you have to type in. So it's different than the main commercial releases. All right, so same story we had before. The small medieval town of Alvard is ruled by a kind man, King Safwis, and his next ruler is terrible, and we got to go destroy and take care of that guy. Find the chest of the gods and destroy the king and all his forces. You have to find several other treasures hidden in the dungeon. Wait, treasures? It's almost like a colossal cave adventure. We're going to go find treasures. All right, so does it redraw the whole thing again? We're in the west end of the prison cell. A door leads north, and it's locked. All right, we can head east. Let's go ahead and go east. Okay, it does. It does redraw the whole thing. All right, so we can see the metal bar. Let's go ahead and get bar. Yes, no save. Should be even lower, right? I was actually thinking it would be 2.5 stars if you think of all the adventure games. But yeah, the no save is a big one, but it's because it was type in. All right, so east end of the prison cell. Well, I guess they could have done it anyway. Or you could have made it available, but nope, there is no way to save it. At least not that I know, as far as the walkthroughs I've seen online. All right, so metal box lies on the ground. We can see nothing there. Let's go ahead and open that box with our... Oh, I forgot. It's the Apple II. It won't let me do it. It does. The metal bar helped, and there's a key in the box. You're in the east end of the prison cell. A metal box lies on the ground. We can see the key. And now I'm going to say get key. I haven't gone anywhere. It's going to say okay, and then it's going to redraw the whole thing. Wow. That is such a step backwards. All right, so now we got the key. We'll go ahead and head back west. We've seen this one before. With it west into the prison cell, door leads north. Open the door. It is a nice touch, though, that you don't have to say with what. It doesn't ask what key. It already knows we have the key, so the door just opens. I'll give it that little smidge of nice. All right, so we head north. All right, let's go ahead and head east. The room with the steel door on the floor. It is drawing a little faster here on the Apple II. We can see the flute here. Let's go ahead and get that flute. Okay, yeah, it draws a little bit quicker. I'm not fast-forwarding anything. It's Apple IIe enhanced, but it is a slightly more enhanced Apple IIe. So it is just a smidge faster than what you had in 1982. Oh, yeah, it should be, right? I wonder if it has something to do, because we've played lots of text adventure games on the Apple II. This same emulator, same configuration, and everything was coming through really quick. Great example is, check the links down below for Infocoms. Deadline, it was so fast. It was beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and head east. We're in the room with a large brass table. We can see a copper coin. Get that coin. What do we do with the coin? I'm dying to know. And then we go north. Okay. Yeah, so it's a little faster here on the Apple II. We're now in the Wizard's Workshop, and we got magic dust. Right, magic dust. Can we get the dust? Yes, get the dust. Everyone was using magic dust in 1982. All right, so after we do that, let's go ahead and go north. Or no, go west. Let's snort dust. I don't understand you. Yeah, I'm sure you don't understand me. It does seem that way, Manly, right? The slow printing. Okay, so after we do that, let's go ahead and head west again. Ignore the wand. We're not going to need it. Yes, see, I read your mind, Victor, before. That's exactly the same thing. Can we eat dust? Do you understand eat dust? No, you don't understand us. It's very limited vocabulary, most likely because it's a text one. All right. We've had enough taste of Escape from Dungeon of the Gods. Of all the games we could play on a home computer, I still say bad. 2 stars of all the games you could play. It would be enjoyable if you spent that time to type it in. Maybe you'd appreciate it a little bit more if you spent all the time to type it in. All right, after that, our text adventure games. Let's see what our next game is. Yep, Mark's with me on the 2 stars. It's time to go to the United Kingdom and play on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is Final Circuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the most original racing game of all time, of all the racing games we've ever played. This is by Alan Gunnell, published by ZX Computing at the beginning of August 1982. Even more original than Pole Position. That's right, this is the very first text-only racing game. I've never seen any game like this. It should be like we should have seen this in the future because we already saw a text-only golf game, but here it is, a text-only racing game. Which track do we want? We can do 3 to 5. Let's do track 3. What gear do we want? We're going gear 1. We'll start in gear 1. Enter acceleration. Let's do acceleration 2. Enter braking, braking of 3. And go. It's going to calculate what we just put in. We're going straight down the side. Gear 1, speed 39. Select the gear we want. Let's go. Let's gear 3. Acceleration 5. Enter braking 5. And driver is behind hooting. Hurry up. And that's what the game is. It is an entire answer the questions for driving, but it's text only. Oh, a text only one. Now we have seen some BBSs. Bulletin board systems, and we've seen some games from those, and we might see those later, but a text-only hockey game sounds crazy. Oh, 1978 on the PET. So yeah, if that one did exist, we haven't seen that one. This is the very first one we've ever seen as a text-only racing game. Nice shout out, Curtis. All right, let's do 5, and then acceleration. Let's accelerate. Let's just go faster to 10, and braking. Let's do 2. Go. The drivers behind us telling us to go faster. Oh, and we crashed the car. What a weird idea. I could see someone enjoying this on the ZX Spectrum. And like Curtis put in the chat, if this was available, it'd be something that would be way back, you know, in the 70s. But here it is on the brand new ZX Spectrum. It's very funny. Yes. Oh, I don't know about that. Text-only Ultima. Yeah, we're in 1982. We're not in the 70s. So for Final Circuit, of all the games you could play, I don't see anyone enjoying this game on the ZX Spectrum. If you did, leave me a comment down below, but I'm going to go way low. For a racing game, this sounds like the most boring time you could ever have. I'm going to go half star of all the games you could play. I'm no longer doing a 0-star rating because I heard it doesn't compute or send it to the database in Launchbox, but I'll just say 5-star or 0.5 star. It's way down there. Yes, it's really bad. I see a 1-star out there. Oh man, it'd be funny if someone did enjoy this though. Good luck to you. All right, let's see what our next game is after this commercial break.
This is the new Frogger home video game.
Yes.
It's just like the arcade games. Very lifelike. Ribbit. See, you have to hop Frogger past these cars.
Oh, they got some almost gameplay there.
Past the snakes, onto the logs, oh, and the alligators in the river. Ribbit, ribbit, and back home to his lily pad. Whew. Frogger is absolutely riveting. The new Frogger home
nice
video
animation
game,
for the
bring it
commercial.
back to your pad.
Sega's arcade game now.
Yeah, there we go. All right, it's time to play some Frogger. You got to take it from Frogger himself. Let's see what Frogger's like. Here's the box for Frogger on the Atari VCS. Now, the first version of Frogger that ever came out looked like this one by Parker Brothers, not to be confused by a later one that's called the official Frogger on the box by Starpath. Or Starpath would also be the one that took this into in Europe. But here we go for the Atari 2600 and Sears Video Arcade system, under license by Sega, even though Konami was the one that did it originally in the arcades. We saw Frogger in June 1981, and nothing about this says Konami anywhere on the box. Let's flip it over the back. It's tough to be a frog. Life isn't all lazy days and lily pads. It abounds with dangers. In fact, every leap Frogger takes could be his last. Can you help Frogger survive some perils and hop Frogger home to safety? Look at that, screenshots. 5 screenshots on the back, showing you how to play the game. Nice touch, Parker Brothers. And it does take the Atari VCS joystick. Yes. I don't know about that one. I just saw the chat about chicken. Yes. We did this one. I played a lot on the Atari because I wasn't able to go to the arcades all the time. This one was my go-to. So we got two different flavors of the front of the box, cleaned up, not cleaned up. This one looks like the one you would have seen before because it doesn't say the 2600. And then we have two different ones on the back of the box. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like the dirty and cleaned up one. 1982, and then someone cleaned it up for us. Very nice. Here's the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time. Can you hop Frogger out of the arcade? Now you can hop him home. By Parker Brothers. And then another one with some other stuff. I think is that all the other systems? Yeah, look at that one. That has the Intellivision 2600, the Texas Instruments, Commodore VIC-20, Commodore 64. That's all of them right there. And this is the very first one of the official Frogger we're going to see. But if you don't want to count the one in Japan, on the PC 6001. So cool. There's the cartridge of the Parker Brothers fame. This is the second Parker Brothers cartridge that you could play on your Atari VCS after Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. The second one ever. So cool. All right, so if you've tuned on the show, we've played everything so far as consoles and computers. If you look at all the computer games, Frogger has been copied, and variants of Frogger are all over computers. They're everywhere. There's so many Frogger clones that you could play. And even the arcade has one, at least one that I can think of, The Amazing Adventures of Mr. F. Flea. But, ladies and gentlemen, there is no Frogger type or Frogger variant on any consoles anywhere, of all the ones that are out there. If you say Freeway, don't throw Freeway at me by Activision. That is not a Frogger clone. Bringing the chicken in one direction, that isn't playing Frogger. It's not even close. We played better Frogger variants on like the Commodore VIC-20. All right, so let's take a look at the manual for Frogger. Whoa, he's all up in our face. By Parker Brothers. Yeah, it's all says Sega because when it was originally brought to North America, Sega Gremlin was the one that was involved with the arcade cabinet. But Konami was the only one that did it in Japan. Leapin' Frogger. Homemade look like it's only a hop, skip, and a jump away, but looks can be deceiving. First, there's a dangerous highway to hop across, full of fast-moving cars and trucks. Then there's a swirling river to leap, full of frog-eating creatures. How's Frogger going to get home safely? By letting you hop his way, guide Frogger safely from his perilous journey, and you'll jump for joy. And we did. The object of the game is hop as many frogs to safety as you can, and score the most points along the way. That's how you do it. How do you set up the console and then the joystick? Yeah. Do you really need an instruction for using the Atari VCS joystick? Oh, and see, in Games 5, he has the Speedy Frogger. If you hold the joystick in one direction, Speedy Frogger will jump again and again. Or the Auto Hop. I forget what they called it. Was it called Auto Hop? And then let's go to the next page. They have how to play this with a screenshot over on the left side. Most of these screenshots still don't look like actual screenshots. They look like someone put construction paper down and made copies of it. It doesn't seem real. All right, so you start with 5 frogs. First frog shown on the sidewalk below the traffic. Remaining frogs are the white squares in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. And then they have the time limit where you're going to get all your points. The faster you can get across the street, the more points you get. Before you run out of time, you'll lose them. You'll hear a splooch and a green X where Frogger has been squished. And as usual, Frogger can't swim even though he's a frog. Or maybe he's not a frog. And his friends make fun of him, calling him Frogger. The inside scoop right here on Chronologically Gaming. Frogger starts perilous journey on the sidewalk, facing 5 lanes of cars and trucks. Try to get Frogger through the lanes of traffic. I don't know about you, but if I had this manual, I didn't have the manual, but if I had this manual in 1982, I'd be reading all of this because I was already a big fan going to the arcades to play Frogger. This has so much Frogger info. And look here. Because Frogger can't swim in the river because the current is too strong. That's why? Is that really the reason why? The current is too strong. Hopping from one row of logs, turtles, or alligators on the next order to cross it. It all makes sense now. The river current is too strong. Red circles that float in the river are the turtles. Frogger is safe on their backs as well as the water area. And here it's hard to determine when the turtles are up or down in the water. In the arcades, it looked a little bit better. But here, it takes a little bit of imagination. Yeah, the diving turtles are going to be tricky to jump across. That's right, Errol. I love it. And then we have the lady frog, the white lady frog hopping frantically on a log. If you hop Frogger on a log and rescue her and take her home, you'll score bonus points. Get that lady frog to hop on your back or hop on the lady frog's back. Don't know exactly what's happening there. This is not National Geographic. And then we got alligators floating off screen, and you die if you float off screen. He's carried off to a log turtle alligator. This doesn't happen in difficulty B. Okay, that's interesting. Yes, the sequels didn't do well again. Were we just talking about that with Burger Time? It's another arcade game that couldn't continue to make more, but actually the lore of and the series of Frogger branches out and goes all over the place. I mean, Frogger actually goes way longer than Burger Time, but it's still that first game was the big hit, the one-hit wonder. Another one with Frogger. Successfully hot Frogger to home bay, and he's safe and sound, and jump back home. So we just got to go all the way across. We got 5 frogs to bring home. You'll hear a short tune. Ooh, is it the same from the arcade? The music that we're going to hear? And then you push the red button to play again. And do they have the different... Oh, there you go. Game level. Okay, so we got 4 different game variations. All 1 or 2 player, but if you want to play 2 people, it's alternate play. If you want to play Frogger 2 player, though, check out Pacific Coast Highway on the Atari home computer. That one is awesome. Left player goes first, and then if you end a frog, it goes there. So the game variations, Frogger can safely float off screen, and interesting. So you can actually go off the side, and then game mode 2, Frogger can safely float off screen. Game more difficult with Allers frogs, and all the otters. Okay, I remember the otters. Those are hard to see in the arcade, too. Frogger can't float off screen. Game begins with more difficult. Okay, so 4 different game variations still seems kind of slim. It's like the further and further we go through time, Atari VCS gets less and less game variations. When we first started, it was throwing 50, 60, 80 game variations at us. And now we don't have so much. So for different versions we have in Europe, on the PAL regions, we're going to pop in the first one in NTSC, North America. Here we go, Parker Brothers by Ed English, at the beginning of August 1982. And they do have, it almost sounds like the same from the arcade, really close. It's the, what is it, Police Dog that they had in Japan, the song? All right, so we can switch out game variations. Look at the top of the screen. Game mode 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 5, 6. Wait a second, why do I have 6 game variations? Now I'm curious, why did the manual only show 4? Oh, yeah, that's true. The one by... the one later that's by Starpath is the one with the supercharger. So no, this is not the supercharger version. All right, so push and reset. There's the song. That's from the arcade. Yes, there's a lot of publishers that got it. So this is the very first time we're going to see this as the way you could play Frogger at home in North America, if you don't want to count the PC 6001 in Japan. At least official Frogger. And then we're going to have, after this, tons and tons of home computers and consoles are going to have Frogger too. This is the beginning of the Frogger invasion. Oh, we got on the turtles that dumped us down. Sounds really good. There's the Lady Frog. Nice. When I originally played this, I never noticed any of the flicker. I must have tuned it out, like some people did with the Pac-Man flicker. But notice how whenever we go on the same line as another object, it just blinks out. And let me know if, right now, if you're watching the live stream, does Frogger show up? Like, can you see the flicker, or is it going away whenever when I start to flash? All right, so if I'm on game mode 1, I should be able to wrap around, and I want to experience that. We weren't able to do that in the arcades. Let's see if I jump on this log, and... Yes, it carries me across. So cool. I love it. Oh, I should need to get my timing right. Yeah, but controlling with the Atari VCS joystick feels pretty good. Oh, that's right. I don't need to jump. It's going to wrap around. I'm on game mode 1. Got to get it right. And they're really generous with how Frogger jumps from one platform to the other. He like sticks to it. It's really good. Yeah, it is strange. Well, Konami does a lot of things that are strange, and it wouldn't surprise me why they didn't. But there is Frogger. Frogger's you're going to see it later, and I'm talking like in Game Boy, and then later on GameCube and Game Boy Advance. Like Frogger shows up in weirder ways than you ever thought. If you want to look up for the later versions of Frogger, it'll probably freak you out of what Frogger ends up turning into. I love the music, because hearing your Atari play this, like it sounds like similar to the arcades, really, really cool. All right, let's go to game mode 4. Yeah, it was a totally different series. It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, how they revamped Frogger. The first shot, and we're splooged on the side. Oh, that's right. Game mode 4 is Game mode 3 is what I want. Game mode 4 is for 2 players. Oh, it can't be seen. Okay. Yeah, because there is some flashing on certain lines as Frogger goes across. If not, then the recording later is going to be running at 60 frames per second, so it should come up there. Oh yeah, the controller feels so good. After playing so many crappy Frogger variants on home computers, this feels very nice. And it is definitely nostalgic for me. Of all the games you can play on a home console, you really can't play like this. Freeway by Activision is not Frogger. Oh, I can wrap around. Yes! I'm just going to write it across to the other side then. No problem. And the responsiveness is also very much better than most of the other variants we've seen of how quickly Frogger moves where he needs to go. I love it. Yeah, the flashing, that's a good point. We saw this on Pac-Man. The flashing was definitely real on Pac-Man. And I remember in the live stream, if it was dropping any frames at all, you weren't able to see anything. So right now, the pad I'm on, can you even see that? Where Frogger, oh, I slipped off the side. Come on, Frogger. You should be able to swim faster than the stream. All right, so with the context of, you know, there's no other way to play anything like Frogger on any home consoles, what would you give this of all the video games for everything you could play on a home console? Intellivision, Odyssey 2, like, think of all of the consoles that are out there. This is the first time, or if people bought this right now, to be able to play Frogger. That's right, it is better than Pac-Man. I'm going to say that, definitely. And yes, I'm going to say better than Donkey Kong. This is better than that. I'm actually going to start this around the 4-star range of all the games you can play on a home console. It responds really well, and it is a really good representation of playing in the arcade. It makes me feel like I'm playing Frogger. It gets the job done. And adding this nice touch of being able to wrap around the screen is so cool. Oh, 5 stars. Yes, Manly. You know what? I might even go that high because this is... would you consider this then one of the best games you could play on a home console right now? Oh, 4 or 5? Yes. I see Mikey's going 3.5 stars. Yeah, I'm going to go higher because this one is one of the best games you could play on the home console. 3.5 to 4 for Errol. Victor's going 4.5. Yeah, the music's there. The gameplay, having 2 people alternate. Yeah, and sadly, if you're seeing this on the live stream and you're getting the flicker, you'd experience that a little bit at home, but it wouldn't be enough to bring the quality of the game down. Yeah, it is excellent. And of all the games you could play at home, there's only one other right now that I know of, and that's on the PC 6001 of official Frogger. And if you think of if that's for a computer, it's really bad. It's not really a good version of Frogger. But this one is pretty good. I'm going to go all the way up to 4.5 stars. It is one of the best games you could play on a home console right now. Take a look at that. Oh, Mark's going all the way 5. Man, the peer pressure. So if I think of all the games you could play, I wouldn't go all the way up to 5. It's really close though. I'm going to say 4.5 stars. It is really good though. All right, and after that, let's see what our next game is. It's time to go on the Apple II, and this is Galactic Gladiators. Let's take a look at Galactic Gladiators, starting with the box. Now, this one we've seen advertised a few times in magazines. On the front, it looks like we're going to have a space epic, or the beginning of Leather Goddesses of Phobos before it even comes out. We have someone fighting with an obvious lightsaber. Oh, man. Flip it over in the back and they say shootout at the OK Galaxy. There's already a game called that, but it wasn't on my SSI. In a remote corner of the vast universe known as the Bubble, 14 bizarre species have as their favorite pastime shootouts, to the death, of course. And not with mere guns either. We're talking about 4-armed froglodites with phaser rifles, Viking-like woodites wielding laser swords, and ugly mutants whose socially deeming feature is their death touch. And these are nice folks. Galactic Gladiators is a fast and furious computer game of alien and therefore imaginative combat. The creatures are rated for strength, endurance, speed, dexterity, experience, and skill. Brawl of the Cosmic Mites is the basic scenario for the game, and there's lots of other ones you can play in this one. If you look at the side here, it is by SSI, and the two screenshots are hex-based or grid, not hex, they're square grid-based game because this is strategy and tactical game. Oh, yes. That's true. We need to see the Coleco version of it to see what's going to happen next. Oh, yes. SSI love in the chat. So if you had magazines and you looked in them, this is what you see. So I guess it's the Galactic Gladiator flipped over on the front in all gold. We now bring you Galactic Adventures, which I believe this one is the sequel. So this is, in the top right is Galactic Gladiators, and then they're going to have another one called Galactic Adventures, part of SSI's Rapid Fire series. And this ad has one we've already seen, Cosmic Balance, and then one we're going to see really soon called Cytron Masters by SSI. We grow more than apples here. And they also have a reference card inside the box, shows you how to load the program, picking the game phase, the team construction phase, battlefield, placement, map display, and combat, because like most SSI games, you're going to need some reference. It is very, very complicated. And there's the 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop into play Galactic Gladiators. Tom Reamy. Yes. You never thought your computer would be this exciting. Let's take a brief look at the manual because it is very, very long. They have a lot to put in this one. Combat simulator of the 28th century. In Galactic Gladiator, combat takes place between two teams, each of which can contain from 1 to 10 gladiators. Each gladiator can have a ready weapon and a carried weapon. You can also wear armor. Combat continues until one team surrenders or all members of a team are dead or wounded or the target square has been captured. At the end of combat, the winning player will be given the option of saving the winning team. If a team is saved at the end of combat, all dead gladiators are dropped and wounded gladiators are survived. So it works in a turn-based setting like most SSI games. This is actually the second of all squad-based tactical strategy games ever after Computer Ambush that we've already seen. So this is another example of let's zoom in on the action instead of controlling a fleet of tanks or ships. This is one person at a time and telling what each person needs to do. But it's in a sci-fi setting, which is a cool touch. In the two-player version, players are not choosing options, but look at the options the other player is choosing. Oh, should not look at. So you have to use the honor system if you do a two-player game. But you can play against the computer, use their stats, and have the AI go against you. Yeah, this one's always very, very interesting. Personal characteristics of each character, you get strength, dexterity, endurance, speed, experience, and then weapon skills. Yeah, they all get individual weapon skills. This is still very detailed, not nearly as much as Computer Ambush, but it's still up there with you need to understand exactly what you're doing because it's still complicated. So we got weapons and armor, phaser weapons, hand weapons, guided weapons, heat ray gun, and armor. Battlefield display has different ranges between close, medium, and long. And then we have terrain features, like you need to figure out if it's going to be blocked, partial, indoor, outdoor, and then what weapon effects are going to have on different enemies. You also have different game types, if it's going to be defending team 1 or 2 or elimination. And then you have placement between the teams, if it's going to be random or you're going to place them all around. This also allows you to create your own scenarios and your own teams. It has lots of customization. The possibilities are endless, is what they would say in the magazines at the time. So combat options, you have order of resolution, attacks by phaser, hand weapons, guided weapons, damage points, stuns. How you move your units around is like we had in Computer Ambush, where you have to know, pretend it's a clock and select the movement. And then you can have a move and attack or move and dodge. And then what experience rule you get between different combat scenarios. How to shoot through things, hitting and missing things. It's all here. It's incredibly, incredibly complicated. Yeah, so far, but it is taking a turn in the sci-fi realm, almost like the other SSI release we've seen called Shattered Alliance, but that was more of a fantasy style game. All right, so what can we do? We got different scenarios: brawl at Cosmic Might's place in the arena, hijack, homeworld combats, strange places, or you can create your own scenario. You don't have to use the base ones, and create your own teams, and create your own quest. It's got a lot of stuff you can do. We are not going to be doing that. Just bear in mind, that's all here that you could be programmed in to do. It shows you how to create the game in teams and then creating quests. Gosh, so much to go through. And then quest histories. They even have the historical background of why you're fighting, because you got to know that. Why are you doing this? What's the whole point of this? And then we have all the weapons and armor of the 28th century, all the individual weapons. Gosh, look at this. And a lot of this is taking inspiration from Star Trek and Star Wars, obviously. But then we have all the species, because this is all made from the future. We have the Karachi. I'm going to zoom in on the pictures they got for us. The Signian. The human. Who wants to be human? Boring. You got the Wodite. Wodanite. Looks like a Viking. The Froglodite. Looks like Gollum. The Dolbians. Zorkon. And then we got the special species. The Gorsai. The robots. The Banshees. Whoa, Banshees look freaking awesome. The mutants. The Slime Devils. The Night Stalkers. And what in the world? The orangutans. The orangutans, as their name suggests, are a cross between orangutan and dolphin. that is the weird. What is coming out of his chest? It's a dolphin coming out of his chest. How many? That is the most ridiculous creature we've seen so far on the show. The orangutan. I wanna unlook it, and then we have just a regular old monster. And then they break down how to. I don't think I can continue on with the live show after seeing the orangutan. that is insane. And then they have the references, and look at this. They even have ways that you can write down sample quests, and look at the manual gives you ways to write your own quest names and then your own grids and maps to make your own up. They are tempting tattoos. Don't do the orangutan tattoo, please don't. And then here's our battlefield showing the different things we'll see on the screen and what they mean. And then all the species characteristics, it's all here. Look at that. Wow. And then all the weapon and armor tables for everything. It is so much, way more than this live stream could ever do it justice. So please check out the Wargaming Scribe if you want an in-depth review of Galactic Gladiators. In the meantime, let's pop it and play by Tom Reamy. By SSI at the beginning of August 1982, or possibly the end of July, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. Yes, I don't know. There was a lot in that manual that I really don't want to see. Oh, that's right. We got to speed this up because I'm going to crank this up to 600%. Combat simulation of the 28th century. So here we go. What do we want to do? We can play a new game, initialize the save disk. Delete old teams. Oh, we can view the species drawings. Let's do that. There they are. The Karachi, the Signian. Where's the orangutan? There it is. Look, they have a little bump on the orangutan sticking them out. That is freaky as all get out. All right, let's play a new game. We'll play a very short game. We're going to do the basic scenario, Brawler Cosmic Mike's Play. So I'm going to do that one. And then what kind of teams do we want? Let's do a armor team. So I'll pick there. And we'll do a phaser team. And this is all running at 600% faster than the Apple IIe would be running. So just bear that in mind. All right, so we want to have a two-player game where we have both players control. Insert the game disc, and we got it in. Let's go. Yes. Doesn't it look like AI art? It does. It's like it shouldn't have been made by a human being. It had to have been a computer that did that. All right, do we want a grid map or open map? We're going to do a grid map. Okay, so bear in mind, it's 600% faster. What do we want to do? Experimental rule or choose initial placement? We're going to do experience rule, which we're not going to be choosing all of them on the map. And now it puts all the enemies down there, starting the combat phase. Team number 1 goes first. I'm going to go ahead and choose from my team E, and it says, which one do we want? I want to do a move. So I'm going to move the E character, which is at the top. Let's move them. I can move 2 squares, so I'm going to move them 5, which is to go down, and then 5 again. And then hit any key to continue, and I'm done. And I can move another one. Let's choose our L and move L to go 6, and then 7. So you have to kind of think of it as a clock as you move the units around. Then push any key to continue, and then let's go ahead and choose the O character and move them. Let's just go straight to the side. So 7, 7. You can see where they're moving at the top. Hit any key to continue, and then end. You can also, yeah. Now we go to team 2 on the phaser team. So let's choose K in the top, and let's have K just go straight over to the right. 3, 3. So you can see how I'm moving across. Oh, I can move even further than that. Cool. Let's keep going. Move 3 again. I should have a move and attack, so we'll have him stop there. So this is moving the units around and then attacking the units. So you have to know what species all the units are. You have to know all the armor that they have. You have to know all the weapons they have. And if you did start with the scenario that you built yourself, you'd be more acclimated to what everybody's got. Right now, we just kind of said, just start the game and give us all the base characters and stats and weapons. And then you would have to look at the manual or flip through what everyone has. Because some things are short range, some are long range, to know how to attack. But everything else you see on the screen, all the green and blue are barriers or obstacles that either some can you can shoot through with certain weapons, some you can't. It all would have to be in the manual. That's true. This does feel like you're playing a board game, but bear in mind, we're still seeing video games that are hybrid board game and video game. This is all video game. It's all here on the screen. So if you were into board games or a war gamer, yes, I could understand you wanting to hold the pieces and move them around on a board rather than do this, because it can seem a little clunky. Yes, it is better, much better on Rogue, definitely. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose a different one. Let's go with B and have them move to 3 squares to the right. So, and any key to continue. I'm going to say we're done. And we're going to see, notice how nothing changed. All I did was give all the units the commands. And I want when I end the phase, now what happens? It starts to turn and everybody moves. Look at everybody. Go, go, go. They're all doing their movements and attacks. So in a way, it's similar to a couple other strategy games we played that you do all the commands and then later you watch them execute. So it doesn't have, there's only been a couple of tactical strategy games that allow you to see the action play out. So while the advertisement and the box says, you know, it's hardcore action on your computer, it still is not. It is a turn-based affair like this. Yes, that's true. Definitely would not be playing this today, but in 1982, yeah, I give value to this one. Definitely. Of all the games that we played up to this point, the only one that can really compare to this is Computer Ambush as the squad-based tactical game. So it's really minimal. This is like the niche genre of the niche genre. So of all the games you can play on a home computer, it's really difficult to rate because it's brand new. Like this idea is really fresh. If you didn't want to do something that was more serious, like when we were playing in World War II on Computer Ambush, this is sci-fi, so it would have been really, really fun to play. I actually consider this one better because of how well it executes than Computer Ambush. So I'm going to say of all the games you could play, I'm going to give this one 4 stars. It did get very good reviews for the time as well. The only complaint, just like in Computer Ambush, was the load times. How slow it took to move. Notice that I picked in this example, let's play a 2-player game, because if you say I want to play against the computer, you're going to be waiting even longer. Yeah, see 3.5s out there. I'm going to go 4 because this one does play better than Computer Ambush. But of all the games you can play on a home computer, it is tactical strategy, and it is fun. It is a good time. All right, and with that, let's see what's next. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the release of, or the very first game we're going to be seeing on the Dragon 32. This one is finally a chance for all those computers that were being pushed out by Cambridge and Oxford. It's finally time for Wales and the booming Wales video or computer industry to give us a computer, and this is it. Next year in 1983, they're going to expand the memory to 64K, and the Dragon 32 is a meager machine right now. If you think of, we just saw the first game on the Commodore 64, but this is essentially a clone or a copy really close to what the TRS-80 color computer is. So as the very first game we've ever played on the Dragon, I do know that this is one of the first computers that was programmed by the Oliver twins, who eventually make the Dizzy series. So pretty cool there. All right, so of all this, if we pop open the Dragon and look inside, if you're a Coco fan, this may sound familiar, but the CPU is the Motorola MC6809EP. For memory, it's 32K, and then next year it'll be the Dragon 64 with 64K. For video, it can use composite, but mostly it's going to be RF plugged directly into the television. For display, it has several display modes like most computers of the time. The main ones that we're going to be dealing with is 64 by 48 running at 8 colors, 128 by 192, 4 colors, or the biggest one, 256 by 192 and 2 colors. And that's pumping out on the MC or the Motorola MC6847 VDG. And for sound, you have 1 voice at 5 octaves in basic, but if you use machine code, you get 4 voices at 8 octaves. Most of the games, and I'm thinking all the games we're going to be playing here on the Dragon 32, is going to be cassette. All right, let's see our first game on the Dragon. Now, this is another computer that's really hard to pinpoint when the exact first game came out. I'm going to go with a range of lots of games. So we're going to just start with this one. This is Ghost Attack on the Dragon 32. We've already seen this one on the TRS-80 color computer. This was on September 1981, and it was called Pac-Tac. But here is Ghost Attack, and you can see this is one showing a cartridge that you could play on. The one we're going to be playing is going to be the cassette version of Ghost Attack. Oh, yes. This is how you wanted the Coco to be? Nice. Yeah, it is. It seems very large compared to the Commodore 64. And if you look at the 64, or the Dragon 64 that comes out next year, the only difference is the color. One's beige and one's gray, but the case itself looks pretty much the same. In fact, some people that ordered the Dragon 32, if it took too long, some of them got the Dragon 64. It would have been a cool, happy accident. All right, let's pop in the cassette tape and play Ghost Attack on the Dragon 32, developed by Computerware, published by Dragon Data at the beginning of August 1982. So this one is going to be loading with machine language, and I'm going to fast forward the heck out of this. You can see we're blazing down through this to play some Ghost Attack. It should look just like Pac-Tac, and I'm sure someone in the chat will tell me what's the difference between Pac-Tac and Ghost Attack on the Dragon. Oh, and look, they even have the names of the ghosts. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Apple's worth 300 points, and we have the big power pellets and the small dots. All right, we can pick... Oh, the controller is the same. It's the analog controller. Nice. Okay, we'll go with the easy time. Ha! A rookie. All right, we're in. This is essentially playing another Pac-Man variant at home. Oh, they don't stay vulnerable for long. They switched out pretty quick. Let's see how smart the AI is. Can take him out. So far, controls feel okay. It's very, very similar. I'd say almost identical to how it felt on the TRS-80 color computer. And this resolution feels like we're like blown up. Oh, can I get it? Oh, he got me. Yes, Donald Duck's nephews are going to pay. And I don't think it switches... Hey, you got me. I don't think it switches up the maze. I think we get the same maze every single time. We'll go for the power-up on this side. Yeah, so this one is playing similar to how we played it on the Coco, which every time I pick up a pellet, it seems like there's a small lag, just a little bit of a delay. Like I'm not moving as smoothly or as freely as other Pac-Man variants we played. Eat it. Nice sound effect, though. All right, so if you've been here for a long time on the show, what do you think of all the games you could play on a home computer? We have seen much better Pac-Man variants. Of all the Pac-Man clones we could play, I still would give this one around the average range, maybe even lower. When we played Pac-Tac, it sounds like he really is dying. When we played Pac-Tac, it was a subpar computer game considering the other ones that were out there. Let's see, hard. Let's try it. Tough. Bad news. Oh, that's why, because the sound it's stopping. It makes sense. Because every time I pick up a pellet, it's making that small little noise. I got it. Yeah, so the chugging along, yeah, I'm going to have to start around 2.5 stars. Less than average for all the games you could play on the home computer. There's even some on the Commodore VIC-20 that haven't looked as good as this, but it performed a little bit better. Oh, he missed the fruit. Darn. Come on, they're so fast. Oh, yes, that's a good point. The Coco would be more capable than this one. Yeah, I'm seeing 2.5 stars from Mark. So, of all the games you can play on a home computer, we played plenty of Pac-Man games, but of all the games you could play, I'm still thinking around 2.5 stars for Ghost Attack. It's around the same from what we said for Pac-Tac. Or I think Pac-Tac may have been 3 stars when we played that one last time. All right, so the first game ever on the Dragon 32, at least the first one here on the channel. We are going to be playing a bunch more for August when we play the releases at sometime in August 1982. I see Victor's going 2, Errol's 2.5 as well. Yeah, it's still a Pac-Man game, and it still has the play and the challenge of it, just not up to really snuff with the other titles out there. All right, so after that, let's see our next game. It's time to go on MS-DOS or PC-DOS. This is Gobble Man. Gobble Man has no artwork except a few screenshots, so let's pop it and play. I have no idea who did this game in the beginning of August 1982. This was found on a collection by Exados, and he just was gathering all the DOS games he could. And here we go. This is Gobble Man. We want G to begin, Q and A to move up and down, and then brackets to move left and right. Everyone ready? Let's go. No way! That was Pac-Man done on the PC speaker. But wait a second, this is not responding well at all. This is so bad. I can't believe how bad this is. And there's no maze. This is bare bones ASCII characters. The most impressive thing about this game was hearing Pac-Man on the beeper, the IBM PC speaker. Yeah, way to go, Unknown. We love you. I'm going to push G again. Yep, there it is. That's so cool. So this is extremely unfair. The faces, or the ghosts, whatever you want to call them, they're able to move around diagonally. I can only move in the cardinal directions. I can only move up, down, left, and right. But what's worse is my controls feel like they're barely responding. It is so, so bad. 0.5, yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to give this one a 0. This one's so, so bad. I loved hearing the Pac-Man theme, though, on the IBM, the PC speaker, though. That's pretty cool. That's so bad. Gosh. It's getting worse and worse. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at 0. I'm actually going to leave this one at 0. It's terrible. They may not get the rating, but it's so bad. Because it's not even using a maze of Pac-Man. And the enemies are unfair. They don't even the enemies are able to go even further than you, and your controls are terrible. It's beyond broken. All right, after that, let's see our next game. We're back on the Atari home computer. This is Gobbler. Another one I think is going to be a Pac-Man game. All we got is a few screenshots for Gobbler. Yep, that's it. It's time to pop in Gobbler by Sidney Brown, published by Ace Newsletter, the beginning of August 1982. Yes, punt it. We are going to punt it. We're inside the maze collecting gold nuggets. You have a problem. The gold you're collecting is not yours. It belongs to the globs. As you can imagine, the globs are not all pleased and try to catch you and try to collect all the gold you can before you're caught. Each level is more difficult. You have 4 chances to collect the gold. Use joystick 1. Bonus for 100% by Sidney Brown Funco. Given Ace members, press start. What in the world? I don't know if you can hear that in the background. The sound is like a very quiet computer that's choking on itself. Yeah, that's right. That was the very worst Pac-Man ever. We just played the worst Pac-Man ever. Oh, and we have another Pac-Man. Gobbler, here it is. Let's see how this one runs. Oh, no, this is crazy. Okay, so this is running on one of the lower resolution modes of the Atari. And in a way, this feels like it's tile-based, like something we'd see on the Commodore VIC-20, but it's working on the Atari VCS joystick. Do I have even power-ups, though? Let's see. Red button's doing nothing on the joystick. Yeah, nope. I got nothing. So that means there's no power-ups. It's just avoid the single ghost. This feels like it was a fan project. Can you make Pac-Man without any power-ups? Can you play and beat Pac-Man without any power-ups? Yeah, and the enemy is relentlessly following me. Very unfair. Look, it's hovering in one spot. Yeah, pretty bad. Gosh, yep. Now, of all the games you could play, this would be bad. But if this was the game that you got... Wait, what in the world? It got rid of the maze? What is this? Now there's no maze. It's just picking up a bunch of dots. This is almost like the last one we played on DOS. Yeah, got to be programmed in BASIC. It feels very clunky to move around. The joystick is responding with a delay. this is the worst collectathon. Before even collectathons were collectathons. Oh my gosh. Yeah, nope. All right, because there's no power-up, and essentially they're stripping Pac-Man of what makes Pac-Man Pac-Man. I'm going down there in the bad range. I could even go probably 1 star. It has the merit that it... No, I'll go 1.5, because someone out there would get some enjoyment for a little bit from it, but it's still really bad. But no, you know what? No, it's closer to broken. I'm gonna go. I'm already arguing with myself. It's close to broken because of them taking so much away from Pac-Man. So I'll go 1 star. I'll give it that much, but it's still broken. Of all the games you can play on a home computer, yikes! I am very, very scared. All right, and with that, it's time to put our video game playing on pause or hit the break key. Tune in next episode for The Great Wall Street Fortune Hunt, and we got a wizard that's coming home from the arcade. That's it for today, and like I always say, oh, you want to know all the games for next episode? Well, hard cheese. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.